Good morning. It's another Tuesday, and you are listening to the Health Convo show on Niger Health Radio, your wellness companion. As usual, my name is Ogo, and I am with Dr. Olatonwu Adeola. She is a medical doctor and a public health professional with wide range experience in public health. She's also the head prevention care and quality improvement services of Equitable Health Access Initiative. Dr. Diola, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, on today's show, we'll be talking about weaning a child. Last week, we focused on breastfeeding, and it was quite enlightening. Today, we'll be shifting the focus to weaning a child. What is weaning? Weaning is the process of stopping feeding your baby with breast milk. Ideally, the first step towards weaning your baby is introducing complementary foods alongside your breast milk around the age of 6 months. The weaning process continues until breast milk is completely replaced with other foods and drinks. Dr. Adiola, over to you. So what are the determinants of the right timing for weaning?
All right. Weaning a baby could actually be led by different people. Most times, especially in our environment, it's the mother that leads the weaning process. But you could actually have the child also lead the weaning process. So you could have a child-led weaning or a mother-led weaning. So the determinants could be the child, it could be the mother. So the child could be sending cues and signs that they are ready to be weaned. When they begin to reach out for more of the solids and adult meals, when they can sit very well and hold things. Of course, they have achieved neck control and all that, and they seem to be preferring more of the complementary feeds than the breast milk. The mother could also lead the process because, of course, breastfeeding is mother-based. So if the mother is not able to continue breastfeeding, she may also be the one leading the process of weaning. So it may be the mother, maybe because she feels the child is old enough, or maybe because she may not be able to meet with the demands of breastfeeding again. So those are the determinants of breastfeeding. Sometimes maybe the mother needs to be separated from the baby for a very long period of time.
Okay.
It may also be a good time to just wean the baby off.
Yeah, so I remember for my second daughter, the baby leg came to play.
Okay.
She was ready for
to be weaned.
She was ready to go for the solids, everything that was, eating. Once I put breast milk, she would just remove away. So I agree with you on that. So what is the safest or best way to wean a child?
Okay, there is no formula like that, for weaning a child, but it's best to take it slowly and take it gradually.
Okay.
It's a process. That's the first thing. The mother should realize that weaning is a process. It's not an event where you just say, today I'm weaning this child. It's
happening like that.
And it's going to happen. Okay. So we should plan to have it as a process that will take a period of time. And during that period, expect resistance. Sometimes you could get so much cooperation you wouldn't believe it. Okay. So take it slowly. Introduce one new meal at a time. Don't introduce too many things at the same time. For different reasons, you want to know what your baby likes. You also want to know if your baby is reacting to any of the meals. Or if you bring in too many things at once. So in one day, you introduce a rice cereal, introduce a bean cereal, and then the baby is one. Okay. The baby is reacting to. So it's good to introduce it one at a time. It's also good to try as much as possible to keep the environment the same. For example, maybe there is a particular chair where you breastfeed the baby. If you want to wean the baby and you want the baby to still have that feeling of my mommy feeding me, you may want to sit on that same chair instead of changing everything all together, And also, you may want to start with giving the breast milk from cup and spoon. So a child has been feeding from breast all his life, and one day you just bring a spoon.
The child will be like,
the spoon is different. The substance in the food is different. In the spoon is different. But you can start by putting the same breast milk in a spoon. So the child gets used to feeding from a spoon. And then the day you now put something else in the spoon, it's not altogether everything new. So, and then mothers should also learn to cuddle the baby. You know, there's this bonding that the babies have when they are breastfeeding. So you can also make them have that feeling of cuddling and bonding when you are weaning them. Instead of just sit them on a high chair and you are already, prepared to win. It can be as close as possible, like you are breastfeeding the baby, so the baby is able to go through the process.
Indeed, it is a process, when mothers want to win their babies. Okay, so my next question, I would like to bring in real life situations to it. So there's when it's time to win a child, you find out that some mothers. Okay, let me even use myself. My first child, of course, first experience.
Yeah.
When it was the time, I was like, hey, am I sure I really want to do this? There were lots of anxiety going on. I was asking myself questions. Do I really want to do this? How would she react? Yeah. How would she? So why do some mothers feel anxiety when they start thinking of winning a child?
I heard someone say someday that sometimes the mothers need to be weaned from breastfeeding as well. Because I think as mothers, we actually enjoy that. There is a feeling that comes to the mother too when you are breastfeeding with them. Number one is only the mother that can breastfeed the baby. So you have this feeling of ownership.
You're in charge.
And feeling of the child, of dependency. That the child is dependent on you. So by the time you are winning the child off, what it means is that this child can do a whole day or 2 days without me. Unlike before, they say, you can't come because, I'm still breastfeeding. So the mother sometimes need to be weaned from breastfeeding herself. So that dependency of the child on us, it's going away. Sometimes makes the mother, and then the mother also feels anxious because you don't know how the baby will react to the whole breastfeeding process. And then there are different schools of thought on when to wean off a child. So sometimes you feel I've not done enough. I'm weaning at 1 year, I'm weaning at 2 years. I read recently on the internet of a mother that is still breastfeeding a baby at 5 years. If you ask me, that one don't do Convos again. Because for a child that is running around, I beg.
I cannot imagine.
She's still breastfeeding her baby at 5 years. Sometimes mothers feel bad because you win a child at 1 year, 6 months, and then you go out and you see a mother breastfeeding at 2.5 years, and you begin to feel like maybe I should have done more for the baby. The other reason why mothers have this anxiety is that it is believed that many children fall ill after weaning or during the weaning period. So the anxiety of the baby not falling ill or not losing so much weight, which also happens to some babies who don't want to transit, so all those things may cause anxiety in the mother. Of course, there are some hormones that play out during the weaning process. Oxytocin, prolactin, estrogen, all those swinging hormones in the mother could also lead to some form of restlessness and anxiety in them.
Okay, thank you for that. So what should mothers do if their baby is struggling with weaning? Because it's something new for the baby. You're introducing another method of feeding entirely. And we find out that some babies, they struggle with this. And I'm sure the mothers will feel bad. They'll feel like, am I really doing the right thing? So what should mothers do if their baby is struggling with?
Okay, so the first thing a mother needs to realize is that weaning must happen. It's something that must happen. You can't breastfeed your child for life. Because I say this because you see many mothers who at 9 months, at 10 months, the baby is living only on breast milk, and they say he's not taking other things, and the child is looking malnourished, is underweight, is falling ill frequently, and the mother is just feeling like it's just not cooperating. It's something that must happen. So that's the first thing the mother needs to realize. The second thing is that you don't need to, it's not a war. Don't approach it as a war. It's not a war that you want to win over the child. And then thirdly, you don't need to go through it alone. You can make use of other support systems. If you have your husband, maybe there are other family members who the baby is familiar with, you can also use them. So just that as an opening statement. What do you do when your baby is struggling to be weaned? Sometimes you may need to relax a little bit. So you are trying and the baby is resisting. Why not let it go for a while, maybe 2-3 days? Don't give any complimentary feed. The other thing you should do is don't let feeding become work, such that it's boring, it's stressful for the baby. Let it be fun. Recently, my daughter was asking me, "Mommy, how did you used to feed me when I was a baby?" I said, "I used to sing a lot. I would dance. I would make faces, just doing anything to make her excited and happy. Somebody is doing faces, the other person is putting a spoon in her mouth, just to make her eat." So can feeding be fun, please, mommies? Let it be fun for the baby. Let it not be work. Don't frown your face and he has not taken it and then you are frowning. And babies can feel the tense, the anxiety in the mother. They can feel it that you are not calm. They can feel it. And babies are smart too. We should also remember that. Don't think the baby doesn't know what he's doing. So don't also let the child control you to the point that you are not giving the best to the child. So as a mother, you know what is good for the child. You know that this child at this point needs more than breast milk. So even if you don't want to take it, I have to look for a way to make sure you get it. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying and don't compare children. The way it was with the first child will be different from the second child. Yeah. Not to talk of from one family to another. So don't compare and be wondering, Mrs. A's child is already taking Amala and this one is still struggling with infant formula. Don't compare children. And let your husband help you as much as possible.
Okay, so when you did mention about how you went about feeding your daughter, singing, doing all, I remember the video I saw on Instagram. So the mother it was time to wean the baby. The mother brought bread and then she placed it on her nipple. So when the baby opens her mouth to suck, she will just taste bread. And the baby will actually take the bread and continue sucking.
There are so many ingenious ways of getting the baby to eat.
Okay, let's go on a musical break. It's been a most interesting conversation on the show so far. Let's take a pause and enjoy this lovely tune by Jody, Coochie Coochie. Enjoy.
Wake up in the morning. I see your love in your face. It tastes like butter, honey from a teacup. You take my breath away. Your pretty little fingers so tender, like petals from the morning dew. Your laughter a joy to remember. Heaven has blessed me with you.
Oh, babe, coochie, coochie, ah. Oh, baby, my baby, coochie, ah. That was Jody with Coochie Coochie. It was released in 2013. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Health Convo on Niger Health Radio, your wellness companion. My name is Ogo, and I am here with Dr. Adeola. She is the head prevention care and quality improvement department of Equitable Health Access Initiative. We are still talking about winning a child.
Winning a child.
Dr. Adeola, how was the coochie coochie?
Very coochie.
You what? I see it in your eyes, the coochie coochie. Okay, so let's do this. For first-time mothers who are yet to wean, what could likely happen to the breast post-weaning?
This breast matter.
As
you
in?
know. In fact, I've read of some women who have decided not to breastfeed their babies because they don't want changes to happen in their breasts, you know. But the first thing is that the process of pregnancy and breastfeeding brings changes to the breast, whether you even go through breastfeeding or not. The second thing is that the process of aging brings changes to the breast,
Okay.
even if you are never pregnant. So women should have that at the back of their minds. So what should a woman expect? Usually during breastfeeding, pregnancy breastfeeding, the woman's breast could grow as much as 2 to 3 times larger than the pre-pregnancy size.
True.
So the breast will get bigger. You probably use a bigger bra, a larger size bra size during that period, and then the ducts of the breast get filled with milk because it begins to produce milk. I mean, if you are not breastfeeding and you are not pregnant, your ducts are not filled with milk, but the ducts get to be filled with milk.
Okay.
So during the process of weaning and post-weaning, those ducts are emptied of breast milk. There are many factors that will determine what the breast looks like. For example, after weaning, what's the age of the mother? For example, just like I mentioned, there is a change process that happens in the breast as part of aging. During menopause, the fat tissues are reduced in the breast. So whether you breastfeed or not, those changes will happen. So for a mother that is having her children in her late 40s, close to menopause, you know, those changes may seem to be more pronounced. But it's because the changes of aging are also taking place at that time.
Almost the same time. Okay.
Also, the amount of weight that is lost or gained during pregnancy. So if there has been a lot of weight gained during pregnancy, it may affect the changes that will happen in the breast. Remember, during that increase in size of the breast, the skin also stretches together. True. Usually when the breast reduces in size after weaning, the skin is supposed to tighten around the new size of the breast. But it depends on how elastic your skin has been before.
Oh.
Do you understand?
I see.
Those are the other things. So what kind of skin have you had before pregnancy? Also genetics come to play when it comes to weaning. So you see some women, even in their early 20s, they're already having sagging breasts. It's not due to breastfeeding or anything, just the genes. So genetics also play a role in the process. So there are many things, but what do you expect? The breast will return. Usually it may not return back to the pre-pregnancy size, but it's going to be close. You probably use the same bra size you were using before pregnancy, after. Yes, and everything, nipples, everything, all the dark, usually during pregnancy, the breast becomes darker, the areola becomes really dark, all those things peel off, and then the breast goes back to its normal color and all that after. And then some women whose nipple have been retracted before, the process of breastfeeding the baby would actually make the nipple to come out more and then remain out.
Okay.
You know, some women, even during breastfeeding, during pregnancy, you discover they have a retracted nipple.
Yes.
Yeah. So during breastfeeding,
it helps.
It helps to bring it out.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
all those things
Beautiful. That's
play
good.
out.
Okay. We keep hearing depression. I mean, it's looking as if it's the in thing. It has come to stay, but God forbid. So is post-weaning depression real? And then how can it be addressed?
So depression has been. It's just that awareness has increased.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
truth. It has been, but the awareness has increased. So we are giving more attention to it. Women have been depressed post-weaning since, because the hormonal changes that are happening in women now that we are discovering and we are giving explanations for, they've been happening since Eve. They've been happening. So it's real. Yes, post-weaning depression is real, and there are many reasons. There are chemical hormonal reasons for it, especially the oxytocin hormone that is increased in the woman's body during the process of breastfeeding. It's the feel-good hormone. It's also the hormone that is released after sex. You know, so that hormone is dropped. It drops post-weaning. So that feel-good hormone in the mother reduces. So you can cause depression. Also, prolactin is another hormone that is secreted in high amounts during breastfeeding. It also reduces.
Wow.
It's what they call the calming hormone. It makes the mother calm. So it's also reduced. And then estrogen also begins to swing post-weaning. So you see all those hormones. So you see the mother becoming anxious, teary. Sometimes the things that give them pleasure don't give them pleasure anymore, or they begin to lose concentration in their work and all that. So it is real, and because it is real, I would like to say that the men need to support their women during that period and not think that what's the big deal? Shebi, the baby is off you, and then the anxiety of how is my baby doing is also there, coupled with sometimes the demand on the mother now increases. Now that you're not weaning, you're not breastfeeding again. Sometimes they believe you should be able to do more in the house or in the office and all that. Closing hours, change and all that.
A lot to deal with.
You know, a lot to deal with. So she needs the support of everybody. She also needs to be aware that this is possible. So she should put in extra effort. Try and make sure that your social links, networks remain. Try and, you know, interact with friends and all that to get through that period.
So I think it's something you don't have control over actually.
To a very large extent, it will happen, but you can decide how it impacts on you.
Okay. So what should the baby be drinking and eating post-weaning to make up for breast milk?
Okay, so of course the baby gets to eat everything the adults eat along the line, but in the initial period, especially the first 1 year, the baby should be given infant formula. Don't give the whole cow milk. So don't buy the regular milk that everybody uses in the house and give infant formula. And now we see so many brands making milk for 1 to 3, 3 to 5. So as much as possible if you can have. But the first 1 year, please stick to infant formula. Don't give whole cow milk during that period. And of course, other feeds, try to keep it as smooth as possible, as light as possible, and then it can begin to thicken as the baby begins to grow. So the amala that the 7-month-old, 9-month-old baby will eat may not be as hard as what the 3-year-old child will eat. Okay. Yeah. So those changes should just happen as the baby grows.
As the baby grows. Yes, because I remember then when I was breastfeeding, and when I'm eating, you know, sometimes you're eating and baby's also breastfeeding, especially when it's swallow. So I dip my finger in the soup
and then give
a little on my baby's tongue, and baby responds, yummy.
Yes. And please, water. Give water to the baby. Okay. So once you start complementary feeds, please make sure the baby rehydrates very well. so that they don't get constipated.
Very important.
And please
water.
continue to breastfeed them. I mean, some people say 1.5 years, some people say 2 years. Continue to breastfeed the baby as you try to wean the baby off the breast milk.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Adeola.
you, Ogo.
You've heard it all. You've heard it all from Dr. Adeola on weaning a child. The process is a process, actually.
Yeah.
It's not war. You're not going. It's not a talk of war. Mothers, it's a process. And then fathers, family members, please support mothers. You know, when it's time to wean a child. That will be all on the show today. It's been an amazing time.
Oh, yes, it has.
Join us next week, Tuesday, same time, same link. Follow us on Niger Health Radio. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Supernatural.